Hello, everyone. Dr. Gregory Horton here. It is a pleasure to have you here with me. We're going to have a very interesting conversation today. And I just want to make it very clear today that I will be taking questions. So if you have any question at all pertaining to any topic, any issue, if you have questions on some of the things that we are talking about, today, I will go ahead and take the question. But happy Sunday to everyone. I know the day is coming to an end, and I hope you enjoyed the meal with the family. So, today we have some very interesting things to talk about. We are going to, this is part one on Tuesday. I want to see you back again at 7:40. And this is going to be part two. We're going to touch on some very interesting information that the athletes can benefit from. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, I encourage you to do so because the information that we are sharing with the athletes and the fans, it's different. We're not just a regular YouTuber. We are here to provide information, knowledge, guidance to people who want to advance and become the best version of themselves. So if you know of someone who can benefit from the information that we are going to share, please don't hesitate to do so. The more you share, the easier it is going to be for all of us to achieve what we set out to achieve. So I am encouraging you all, share, don't be selfish, just share as much as you can because we have a monumental task to achieve and I cannot do it without you. One of the first things we're going to talk about is the Golden League, because it seems like when we talk about Golden Leagues, only few people out there who want to give up-to-date information, and it seems like everything is just a hush-hush. Nobody want to talk about it. But news reached us earlier in the week after the Golden League that Hansel Parchment and many others had some major issue in terms of the food that they ate at the Golden League. In fact, a lot of them almost pulled out of the championship because of the situation that they're faced with. Now, I know this must be a very scary thing because the first thing you're thinking about, is this a COVID issue? Or is this me? Or what is going on? And I have been down that road before where I went to Finland years ago and it was a struggle to find something to eat. And when I end up finding something to eat, which was totally off what I normally usually consume before a race, I was very sick at the track. And even though I won the race that day, it was a struggle. And I have been suffering from then to now with stomach issues. So my advice to the athletes, when you go to some of these meets, there are some things that you must take with you. The older folks will take Andrews, of course. But in this case, you definitely want your Pepto-Bismol. My advice, always travel with a box, a pack, or whatever you can find, the tablets of Pepto-Bismol, because if you might be the unfortunate one to consume something that is just not working well for you in the moment, and it may end up costing you a race and money. So I encourage you all, make sure that you take your own food if you can, your snacks, and make sure you take a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. I can't overemphasize that anymore. The second thing I want to talk about before I go into the main topic is what is going on with the Golden Leagues. We now find where the Golden Leagues are pooling up and they are not trying to pay the athletes appearance fees. Now, if you go on their website, they're making it very clear that they are only going to contract a few athletes and then the rest, they are going to only give them performance bonus. And that is so unfair. The athletes do have names, they have the popularity, so they too are making the meet what it is. And I do understand that these meet directors can use one particular, two particular athletes to pull the crowd. But at the end of the day, if you're taking all 8 finalists from a world championship or the Olympics, you should be able to pay each athlete an appearance fee. The athletes are in the business of making money. They have their name, they have their performance to back up what they do. So I wonder why it is an issue to pay all the athletes appearance fees. Now, what they're not telling us is that many of the athletes are pulling out of these golden leagues because of the same thing. So when you see some of these big names pulling out, we know why and they know why. And this is something that I think the media need to shed light on, because the athletes are in the business to earn a living. And in order for them to earn a proper living, they need to be compensated when they do what they're supposed to do and have the titles to show. Now, the other thing I want to talk about too is Christine Boma. I've been having this discussion with a lot of people, and they seem to think that what is going on with Boma is justified. And this is one of the issues that I have, because I am sure that if this same instance was affecting a Jamaican athlete, we would want to know more as to why these things are being done. Now, it is said that at 18 years old, Boma is doing great things, and she is an African, and they're saying that the 9 participants who this thing is affecting is from the African continent. And it is important to note that we as a whole must make sure that our brothers and sisters elsewhere on the continent, that they too are protected, because you will see it slowly start to affect us as a people. So I am here to say, where are the agents? Why are the agents not doing more to protect the athletes? We see where the agents today are forming their own groups to represent themselves. They are representing themselves, and we don't see any signs where they are standing up for the athletes. No, I am not a scientist, and I'm not saying that she has more or less testosterone. But what I am saying is that if there are rules and regulations, it should be clear for everyone to see. Wouldn't you agree? So if you have any question, please push them out so we can know that you care about this. Because the last thing I want to happen to athletes is that when the crime now start to affect our own athletes, that is when we are ready to solve the problem. Let us take a proactive stance in solving the problem before it spins out of control. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, and I posted a video earlier today about Akeem Bloomfield and the fact that he now has decided to relocate to a pasture where he now feels that he can achieve his full potential. And the reason why I am going to touch on this topic today, because it is this time of year where you find that a lot of athletes are relocated. A lot of athletes are moving from point A to point B. And the thing about it is, they themselves are not sure where they're going and why they decide to go somewhere else. And as I said before, selecting a coach is a very important thing in your career, because it will determine your longevity. I remember a few years ago when I was trying to find a home, and I reached out to John Smith, because at the time he had a successful camp and he was doing great things. And I was kind of surprised because, he wanted me to send him my resume, and he wanted to know some of the things that I accomplished. And I think for him it was a procedure that he usually follow, because I'm saying, John, you see me every day. I'm beating some of your guys. Why would I need to send you a resume to show you what I have accomplished over the years? No, the reason why I'm saying that, because when you go into someone's camp, it is important that you understand the rules and the regulations. It is important as an athlete that you too ask pertinent questions that can determine your future. Because if you don't ask the right questions, then you may end up in a location that is not good for you. So it is important for the athletes to ask the right questions and be knowledgeable as to what they want out of this, because not all coaches will be able to deliver. Now, I've seen it before because I've been different places, and I know that a lot of athletes today, that their contracts are on the line because they did not perform up to their best. And that is a nerve-wracking situation to be in, because when you find yourself in that situation, you feel like there is not enough support. You don't know who to turn to. So I'm putting it out there to say, if an athlete is struggling and they want to find a place and they need someone to talk to that can give them good, sound advice that can help them to make the best decision as to where they should go and why, my social media handle is there. You can always reach out to me. I am here to help you. Now, tonight, I am just going, for the first time, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the book, 7 Principles to a Successful Career. And this is very important for any athlete to have, because when I decided to write this book, I gave it my all. I went deep within myself because I wanted the information to help athletes who may find themselves in tough situations and they need advice and counsel. Now, I'm not one of them to be promoting things, but the information will be down in the section if you want to log in. But what I'm saying here is this, before I go back to Akeem's situation. It is important that you equip yourself with knowledge, up to the minute information that can help you to make good decisions. And when I was writing that book, I took all of my previous failures and all of my successes and I merged them together and I tried to make the book simple. And the reason why I wanted it to be simple, because I wanted the reader to totally understand and get where I was coming from. Now, one of the things I recommend to my mentees is that they should get this book. And you would be surprised some of the things that they say in terms of how the book changed their lives. Now, I am saying to you as athlete, you have a limited amount of time to achieve all you can achieve. And it is important that you use this time wisely. And each poor decision you make, it will cost you more than you're bargaining for. So I'm encouraging you all, think about what you have to do. Think about where you need to go. Think about why you need to go there. And then you can make the decision. Now, as it relates to Akeem, I personally think that the decision that he made to go to Tumbleweed is a very good decision. And the reason why I think that decision is good, because when I looked into the background of the coach, I realized that it could be a perfect fit based on the level of knowledge that Coach Ryder had. It says that he was a part of the British athletics, where he was in charge of a diverse group of events. He had sprinters, he had jumpers, he had hurdlers, which is telling me that the gentleman is very knowledgeable in what he is doing. And then when you look on his resume, you also see that he has some exceptionally talented individuals, both male and females. It is said that in his group, he has individuals such as Christian Taylor, Daphne Swiper, DeGrasse, Bromell, Marvin Bracy, Christopher Taylor, and it goes on and on. So it is telling me that this individual is committed to what he's doing, he's knowledgeable to what he's doing, and I am really hoping that it work wonders for Akeem, because he has been struggling for the past few years, and I think that he deserves a fair shot at challenging others out there based on his level of talent. So I am one of them who will be cheering for him. In fact, I have an interview with him next week. You don't want to miss the interview. You definitely want to be there. So before I go into the core of the discussion tonight, I just want to say to the athletes out there who are looking for a home that there are a lot of things that you must consider before you decide to get up and go. You want to make sure that wherever you are going, you're not pressed to develop your talent overnight. That whatever strategy they have in place for you, that it is clearly articulated to you so you know straight in advance what you need to do. And you also want to make sure that your coach have the right coaching and communicating style for you, because sometimes you're in a situation and the coach is making himself clear, but based on how you learn, you're not grasping the concept. And as I said before, you have a limited amount of time to achieve your full potential. So you don't want to waste any time. The sooner you get and grasp the knowledge, the better it is going to be for you. You also want to make sure that your coach has knowledge of the event. Because if you now ask me to coach jumpers, I don't know nothing about jumping. I may have the best of intention, but because I am not knowledgeable in that event, I personally know that I wouldn't be able to help you. So you don't want to take the chance to go to someone who is not knowledgeable, because they may just experiment with your career. You also want a coach who will put your best interest first, because this is not something that we see on a regular basis, where coaches think about the athletes. They think about the management group and how they can earn a living from that. And if they have to run you around the world to get what they desire, that they would do so. So I am urging the athletes them to understand that you want someone who look out for your best interest and someone who will put your interest above everything else. You also want to make sure that you're not in a camp that people focus more on favoritism, because favoritism can crush your motivation. You know, I've been there before, where you just feel like a number, you just feel like the coach is not interested in your success and they might be more interested in somebody else. And when you find yourself in that situation, it can kill your dream and kill your inspiration and your motivation. So one of the questions I hear a lot of people are asking, even in Akeem's situation, what is going to happen now with Christopher Taylor? Will it work between the two? I think that they competed against each other. I think that it is a good opportunity for them to work and make each other better. And I think that they both can make each other better. The other thing that they want to make sure is the coaching fees, because sometimes coaches can charge you more than you can afford. So all these things need to be negotiated before you get up and move from one state to the next, or from one city to the next. I hope the information that I just shared with you are good enough. As I said before, share the information with someone. If you find that someone is thinking about moving because they are uncomfortable based on where they find themselves, then you definitely want to make sure that you share this information, because this information will make a difference as to how long they stay or how long they stay in the game, or they may end up retiring. Now, we're going to go straight into the main discussion tonight. You know, I was thinking and I saw when the activities took place, and I was wondering to myself, why is it that the media is not jumping on these things? Because if we say that we love our athletes and we want the best for our athletes, then everything that we do should point to the fact that we are doing what it takes to better the athlete. So the question I'm asking those who are in leadership, those who are looking out for the athletes, that now the Olympic is over, what next for the athletes? What can you say will be in store for the athletes? Now, Tuesday at 7:40, we are going to cover another interesting topic. And we're going to look at something that was sent out by the JOA the day after Minister Grange made her statement. So today we're going to look at what Minister Grange said, and I'm going to break it down. Not like Mr. Vegas, I'm just going to break down what was said. And by breaking it down, I hope that those people who are seeking help, that they can understand this and that something will be in place, because the information that I'm sharing today, I'm not trying to hold it for myself. I'm trying to send it out there in the atmosphere for those individuals who say that they care about the athletes, that they will come forth and they would also do things that can benefit the athletes. So recently I saw Asafa Powell did some stuff. I saw Usain Bolt talking up on behalf of the athletes, and I said, great. The more of us do this, the better the way we can pave for our athletes. So I'm encouraging them all, continue to speak on behalf of the athletes, because many of them are in a position where they cannot help themselves. So on Tuesday, August 10th, the Minister of Culture and Entertainment, Minister Grange, met with the returning Olympians and management personnel. So when she went to the airport to meet everyone, I think the president of the JOA was there, and a group of management from the J3As were also there. And she said something which is crucial, which I won't fully address today. Well, I will touch a little bit on it today. She made it very clear that if we put the athletes first, the bickering between the JOA and the J3A must stop. And it must stop because it is affecting the athletes. You know, and at some point, reason with me now, if you say you love the athletes, you have to do the things that are in the best interest of the athletes. So the minister was passionate about helping those athletes who are experiencing difficulty financially. So it's not me making it up. It's out there in the public to say that the athletes are experiencing financial issues, and the financial issues that they are experiencing, it is affecting them from performing at their highest potential. Now, two things to note. The athletes who were coming from Tokyo, that these are Olympians. These are not just high schoolers, because one theory is that the high schoolers need the help. But here you saw where the professional athletes, they too need the help. And then you have to ask yourself, why do these athletes, professional, need the help? And I'm going to go into that later on as well. In her commemorative remarks to the athletes, the minister empathized with the struggles and hardship faced by the athletes who are from humble beginnings. In other words, humble beginnings mean that these athletes are poor people. These athletes are from a part of Jamaica, and they are not able to take care of themselves. And because they're not able to take care of themselves, they need someone to assist them, not forever, but to assist them for a period of time. So the minister informed the returning athletes in her speech that they should not hesitate to let her know if they need help. Now, the minister made it very clear that they need help. I have been saying it over and over that the athletes need help. And here the minister is saying again that if they need help, that they should let her know. But it is very obvious that the athletes need help based on the things that they're saying. Now, the honorable minister made it clear that she is not able to help all athletes, but she is willing to help as much as these athletes as she can. Now, we as a group of people, Jamaicans, so to speak, sometimes this information is not important to us. We see how our brothers and sisters struggling, but we want some more juicy topic. And it is a reason why I'm doing these topics, because I am putting everybody to the test. If you say that you love us as athletes, if you sincerely love us, now the Olympics is over, what are you doing for us now in terms of giving us a fair shot at achieving our highest potential in our event? Because the minister is making it very clear that these are people from humble beginnings, poor people. These are athletes who have financial difficulties. Now, here is what the minister said. She said, I am here for you. Whatever ups and downs you have, we will face them together. Now, I personally can say that I think the Minister Grange is passionate about this, and I think that she is sincere in trying to help the athletes. The question is how. Now, the reason why I personally think that Minister Grange is sincere with this speech, because I remember when I was going to the Honorable Herb McKinley funeral, and she was there. And when I entered the location, I couldn't look at the Honorable Herb McKinley. And, she came over and she saw that I was struggling, and she held my hand and she said, come on, Greg, we took good care of it. He's in a good place and he's looking the best he can. I'm sharing that story because I personally see how the minister deal with the athletes and some of the things that she's saying. And I know that she genuinely cares. She wants the best for the athletes. The question is, how is this going to be done? And that is a fair question. And this is where I am coming in and I'm making it clear that the information that I'm sharing on this platform is not information for me to keep to myself, but it is information that can use to help athletes. And I am willing to share the information. If you want to pick it up and implement it, it is fine. But here is what the minister also said, and this part of the speech now is for the athletes, the Akeem Bloomfield, the Nathan Allen, and all the others, because those who did not have a successful year, 2021 or 2020, the minister is saying very clearly that for the next 3 years, you are faced with 3 major championships. And if you want an opportunity to increase your ability to earn, at least I'm talking about now, that you have to put yourself in a situation where, she says, the World Championship in Eugene, Oregon, 2022, the Commonwealth Game in England, 2022, that follow also to the Olympics in Paris, 2024. So, for the athletes who are not able to achieve their full potential in 2020, 2021, 2022 is just around the corner. And this is why it is important that you plan and plan wisely. Now I'm making myself available to you. I'm saying that if you feel you're not getting honest information, honest guidance from your group, I am here to help you, because with these 3 years, any average person can become a superstar and can become a millionaire within the next 3 years. So I'm encouraging the athletes to take this thing serious, because it's an opportunity to get a new start, a head start. So personally, I admire the move and I commend the minister for taking such action, because these necessary actions are needed in a time like this. Now, it is for the athletes to see the need to take advantage of the opportunity. Now, the Minister Grange, I personally want to tell her that she is appreciated for offering assistance to the athletes. The funding is needed. If we say we love and we care, those individuals who are in the position to make a difference, collecting funds on behalf of the athletes, that they need to find a way to put it in motion. where the athletes can fully benefit from all of this. Now, if Jamaica is to continue to dominate track and field globally, we must put ourselves in a position where we can help the athletes achieve their goals. Now, I want those who are in leadership to look at track and field as a multi-billion-dollar industry. If you did not watch the previous interview that I did with Mr. Leighton Levy, I urge you to go back and watch it, because in that interview, it was very clear as to some strategies that can be implemented to better the athletes and to better the organization. So I am here to say that if those who are in leadership take this thing serious, we can produce millionaires and billionaires in track and field. We saw it with Usain Bolt. We are seeing it with Shelly-Ann Fraser and Elaine Thompson. We are seeing Sharika Jackson stepping up where she is increasing her ability to earn. So I am urging those who are in the position to make a difference that you have to start doing these lectures, and you have to enlighten the people, the athletes from an early age, to know that if they want to be a millionaire someday, that they just need to make the right decision, because whatever they need to be in place, that it will be in place. So, but here is my main concern now, and I'm going to wrap up pretty soon. So again, if you have any question, I said earlier, we will take questions. But here is some of my thing that the minister said that she wants to help the athletes. And if the minister wants to help the athletes, then there must be a system that can identify the athletes who need help. And we see where we already have a system in place that can identify the talent. The issue is identifying the talent and nurturing the talent. Now, we have some of the development meets throughout the island where young athletes are showcasing their athletic abilities. And we also see the boys champs and the girls champs where we see the talent. But what we don't have is a system that not just identify the talent, but have a structure in place that clearly states that if the athlete is doing A, B, and C, that these criterion will make them eligible to receive funding. I want to say that again. What we need, because when the minister says that anybody who needs help, they need to reach out to her. You see, the reggae boys use the term patty shop thing. And I don't want this to be a situation where it is who you know and who will push you through that will give you the opportunity to take advantage of your talent. What we are saying here is this. There should be criterion in place for all athletes, and it should be public knowledge that the man who finds himself in Tivoli Garden Comprehensive High, or States, or Stats, or KC, or JC, that they know that these things are in place. And if they do these things, it will make them eligible. One of the reasons that is important, because you don't want favoritism to be at the forefront of this thing, if it is to work. Because we have seen where people had the best of intention, but they allow somebody else who, because they like this person and they like that person, that they did not get the chance. Now, I'll quickly give you a quick story. It took me 4 times to make my track team when I went to Excelsior. I went out 4 times for the track team and I wasn't able to make it because the coach thought I was not good enough. And some of the things I had to do to prove to him that I was good enough, not a lot of athletes today have that mindset and that determination and that willpower and willing to do whatever it takes. So what I'm saying here is that if the minister is making it very clear that she's willing to help as many as she can, but she can't help all, then there must be a system in place that clearly states how many can be helped within a particular year, how are they going to be helped, and why are they going to be helped. Now, Mr. Levy made it very clear. He said that the system that fund the athletes, that some of the monies are being used for other people who are considered vulnerable, sick people who are struggling with other illnesses and disease. So the money that was supposed to be there is not enough, and then it must be distributed among all the other sports. We understand that. But even if 1% of that money is going to be used to help transitioning athletes from high school to the professional, then at least we need to know that 1% of X figure should be in place to help 100 athletes, 10 athletes, or 15 athletes. And in order for these athletes to be eligible, they must get 2 CXC subjects. They must have the right discipline. They must be located in a particular region, and they must show that they are experiencing hardship. I'm just throwing out some things that you know. But what I'm saying here is that if this is going to work, then this is the approach that must be taken. And we have to stop looking at track and field as a do a thing for a person. Look, track and field is what gave me all the opportunities. It made me a rich person. It made me a person with degrees. And I'm saying that we have to start approaching track and field. And I want the fans them to start approaching track and field and start to see this as something that can uplift a lot of the people who find themselves in poverty and need that break. And this is the break that we need. But in order for the break to be manifested in the other material stuff, that we need a system in place that can help to guide a lot of these athletes. You see, we have found that when you put some of the responsibilities in the coach's hands, that they too are practicing favoritism and they too are not doing what is in the best interest of the athletes. It's just what it is. And as I said before, one of the reasons the coaches are doing these things because they don't see a long-term future in some of these athletes. And because they don't see a long-term future in these athletes, they are trying to get the most out of the athlete within a short period of time. And that is detrimental to the athlete's progress. It is detrimental to their growth and to their development. So, as I said, once the money is being invested in the athletes, then there must be a system to monitor whether or not person A or B is improved or is improving. Because that is the only way, once the criterions are there, then the people who are beneficiary of this, they know that in order for them to be beneficiaries, that there are things that they must do. And I will urge those who are in charge to make sure that counseling is a major part of this, because a lot of the athletes are experiencing a lot of issues outside of athletic issues. I want you all to make that very clear. So the structure must be professionally done. As the reggae man said, this is not a party shop thing. This approach should never be a party shop approach. This approach should be one where when we look at this within the next 5 to 10 years, we can save hundreds of athletes who are being left by the wayside. So we must move from the party shop mindset into the professional arena. I really thank you all for being here with me tonight. For those of you who are late, I was talking a little bit about my book, 7 Principles to a Successful Career. This book itself can help to make a major difference in the lives of athletes who are seeking a better way. Now, I'm not one of them who is going to push my book on anyone, but as I said before, when I wrote this book, I went deep within myself because I wanted to be honest with the information that I was presenting to the public. I wanted people who were experiencing hardship and difficulty like me in the moment, that they had or have something that they could turn to for guidance and counsel. And in the back of this book, you will see all my information and where you can get support and guidance from. And as I said it before, one of my passion and the reason I'm doing this, because I want to make a difference in the lives of athletes who have talent, but they just need a little bit of support. They need a little bit of encouragement to help them over the goal line. As I close, I'm going to leave one last story with you. A few months ago, I had a discussion with someone who oversees all the resources that can help athletes. And when I sat with them, I listened, and they presented a case, and I was hoping that they would see it the same way how I saw it. But when I look at what they saw, I realized that it needed to be tweaked here and there. A lot of times people have the best of intentions. They truly want to help the athletes, but they don't have that know it, the experience to think it through and put the structure in place. They want the best. And sometimes their own emotions can be an impediment to what is best for the athletes later on down the road. So I am saying that sometimes the athletes must take a proactive approach to their own future. It is your future, and I'm speaking directly to the athletes now. It is your future. You cannot always expect someone to look out for you. When you get the opportunity, you have to exploit these opportunities. It is your life, and no one should want more for you other than you. You are the individual who will be the primary beneficiary of your hard work and dedication. But what I have been seeing over the years is that the athletes are working extremely hard, and someone else is benefiting from the athletes' hard work. Now, I am saying that it is going to take knowledge to protect you from everyone else who want to exploit you. And this is why I recommend get a copy of my book. It talks about avoiding negative people. It talks about associating with the right people. It talks about the team of people that you need in order to become the best version of you. And you have to put these systems in place. The book also talks about a system within a system. Every system that you go in, you must make your own system in order to be successful in whatever you choose to do. I thank you all for listening. For those of you who have not subscribed yet, I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. Share the information. If you find the information can help someone else, I encourage you all to share the information. Now I'll give you all one last opportunity to ask any question. If you have any question for me, post it. If you have no question for me, I want to wish you a good night and all the best starting on Monday. So if you have any question, please feel free to shoot it. If not, I want to wish you all the best.